Recently you might have seen that we put together our 2017 showreel, and I just wanted to take you through a little bit of a behind the scenes to show you the process. So let's have a look. Most of the time when you see a showreel, it's just a series of clips cut to music, but I wanted to bring more of a story into it. So when we talk about concept, well, what does that mean? Well, basically it means that I came up with an idea before I went ahead with putting the showreel together and putting all the clips together. And the concept for this was basically, I thought about old VHS, you know, a VHS on the tape recorder? Well, I grew up in that era, and so we used to put on tapes. What are they called? Can't remember what they're called now. VHS, video tape. Anyway, basically a big tape that you put into a VCR. And so I had this idea that that's what I wanted the clip to be, and I wanted it to be an archive of the footage from last year. So I searched online, I searched on YouTube, and I came up with and found VHS tape noise. And so I went ahead and I took that down through KeepVid I use, and I pulled that offline, and it was royalty free, so it's fine to use. And then I cut a sound bed for it. So I basically cut in a sound bed. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to have like the tape being all tangled or something happening with the tape. So at the beginning of the video, you'll see our logo kind of, or a bit of white noise comes up and then our logo appears. And I wanted to have that basically play through, so you would kind of get the feel like, oh, something's happening, and then all of a sudden the tape is, you know, coming right, and then you see the logo pop into the frame and come right, and then straight away we start to cut to archive clips. And then I just had a little bit of the archive titles. I wanted them to just kind of flash up as if they were still attached to the bad tape. So right throughout I wanted that whole theme. And then at the end I wanted to wrap up with another glitch right near the end of the tape. And I had originally thought about a title at the end of the video that was going to be End of Archive. But I felt like this song had this thing about dreams in it, so the song and the concept was about living your dreams. And so at the end I thought I would do Live Your Dreams, and then one of our montages and mottos in Pendula is to tell your story. So I did like a little Live Your Dreams glitch and then tell your story. So that's basically the concept that I thought of, and at this point in time I had no clips or anything placed in. So why don't we take a look at the screen to see what I did to get the clips and everything in the timeline. So if we look at the screen here, the timeline shows that basically it's just a series of clips and things like that. And I can just bring this up a little bigger here, and just close this one out for a second. But you can basically see here the timeline. I had some color mats here because I wanted to give it a bit of a grayscale look, and I had some other things here for the archive sections and clips. So basically when we have a look at the video, it starts off with this montage that you see here, and the opening of the opening of the tape, or the beginning of the tape. And this is this kind of footage here is a noise that I produced, and then I produced like a warp for the logo. It basically opens up, and then the music starts right on that same pop, and then we come into the first shot, which is a nice drone shot that we took in Mulaney. So the drone shot opens up, and then we basically pop into the rest of the edit. So what I did with this is DeBella was a little video that we'd already had cut, and when we do videos for clients we always punch out a high res H.264, or we sometimes do a ProRes 422 or a ProRes 444 HQ, so something really high quality that we can use. So I just went in to my files, my file management system. Basically here you'll see I've got an 8TB drive here in a RAID that's just behind the camera there, and basically go into here, and this is all the work I've done in the last sort of year, maybe a year and a half. So I pulled into here and I thought about what I wanted to include, and in here I just pulled up DeBella Coffee, and I went into the exports and I grabbed our Premiere exports, and I grabbed this one here. I think it was the draft that we used. There might have been another one that I used. So basically grab that and drag that directly into my timeline over here, just straight from the 8TB drive. I dragged it straight in because I'm running off the 8TB drive, and then from there I brought the whole clip across, and then I made some cuts in the clip to cut it down to size to fit into the timeline. So you'll notice here I got the DeBella clips, and I just cut I cut that clip out of the actual H.264 or ProRes 422 clip, and then I popped it in, and the color grade was already great from when we did it for a client, so that was easy to pop those in. And then I had another idea for this as well. I had another shoot that I really liked, which was the Sunday Co, and this ended up not making the edit because I wanted to have more of a corporate edge to it, but we did a fun little project with the Sunday Co. So basically just had him sketching some stuff on his computer screen, and that ended up not making the cut, but I left that in the timeline anyway. So yeah, basically that was it. And then basically placed all the clips, and I placed them to music cuts as well, so that it would flow nicely and everything. I placed everything where I thought it should go in little mini sequences and mini stories to tell the story. Again with these footage here with the archive and a little bit of a glitch that I created in After Effects for that, and pretty simple stuff in After Effects, nothing major. And then across we come to the last little section here, which was Evander, again the other end of Evander, the clip that we did, and then the Missions Me clips there. And then I just had another little bit of noise at the end, and we close out with another little glitch, and then live your dreams, tell your story in the titles. So that was pretty much it in terms of the base thing. Now you'll see a few cuts here. When I just open this up, you'll see a few cuts in the music here. So the music was actually a 3-minute track, and I wanted this to fit on Instagram and be palatable on small, iPhone social media. So basically I cut the track down from 3 minutes, and I made some really rough cuts, but then I just fixed it up with a crossfade, and I wasn't too worried about how polished it was, so that all sounds fine. It's on the beat, the cuts are all on the beat, so I made sure I made that work. But the sound design was what I went ahead and looked at next. So when we pulled up here and we see the Mulaney, there's a bit of a whoosh here when there's a bit of a ramp in the speed as well, and then there's a whoosh that happens. And DeBella Coffee, there's some sounds here. If I just solo out the sound for you, you'll hear, maybe not, let's have a look, let's have a listen. If we can hear those. For some reason we can't hear those. Turn it up. There we go. Basically some whooshing sounds, some coffee making sounds, and then we head along to, and there's some whooshes as well that I'll pop in. Back to this one, we got some whooshes and some boomy stuff, and then a bit of a shoo to get into this scene with Natasha, whose name's Sarah in the Evander app, but her name's actually Natasha. And then again, some walking there, so you hear just a little footstep of her. Hear some, might not be able to hear that, but just some footsteps here. Basically walking, and then she places her bags down. So again, just some noise of her placing her bags down, and then the audible beep of the iPhone. And then we come into Derry Australia scene, and you'll see we've got the noise of motorbike in there, and that's very subtle in the edit, but it's there, and then quite loud through these speakers. And then there's the noise of this harvester, or whatever you would call this, noise of a harvester. Now I pulled all this off YouTube, off royalty-free clips on YouTube that just was like listed as a harvester sound or a motorbike sound, and then I played a little bit with them and edited them into the Showreel. And then we've got a car sound for that, and then the music comes back in there. Sorry, a car sound, some traffic noise, and then a crowd sound for the Mission Me footage. So basically a big crowd sound, and that stayed, and I faded that out to close out the video. So that was my sound design, and that was really what made, I think, the video, and took it to another level. And if you listen with headphones, not so much on a smartphone, but if you listen to it with headphones on, you're able to hear all that sound design, and it really adds to the flavour. And I've even got some cow noises and moos in there, and some birds chirping for the farm scene, so you really feel like you're immersed in the visuals. And it's just something I did to create a little bit more than just a montage of clips that we've done. I really wanted to have a story, because that's what we do. We love to tell stories. So I really wanted to put a story underlying everything. And anyway, guys, I just wanted to quickly share that with you. I hope that you get something out of that. And if you want to know more, hit me up in the comments. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you think. Alright everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.